We start on Pevav on 86 at the Mishnah. Starts Cher Sheita B'Katan Shashachtu, a deaf mute, an imbecile, and a child that shechted. We learned at the beginning of the Masechta that if there's no one standing on top of them, their shechita is not valid. If there is someone standing on a child,
coin?
No, anyone. We're talking about regular shechita, not sacrifices. But if there are people standing on top of them, watching them, making sure that they're doing it properly, then it is valid. So they shechted, these three. Ba'achirim royanos, and others are watching them. So chayav l'chasis. If it's a good shechita, then you have to cover the blood. Talking about a bird or a wild animal. However, beinan lebein atzman. Let's say they shechted and no one was watching them. Then patim al chasis. Then they don't have to do kisei adam. Rashi says that they don't do the kisei adam anyway because they're exempt from mitzvahs. But we're talking about the person that's watching them that would do the kisei adam. Says the Gemara later is going to discuss that. And the same thing applies to Isav Espinai. We said that Isav Espinai only if it's a valid shechita, and Kisei Adam only if it's a valid shechita. Sheshachtu, if they shechted, B'achim Rayanaisan, and others are watching them, Asa Lishchet Achareyam, then you can't shecht after them. In other words, you can't shecht the mother or the child because it's a valid shechita because others are watching them. Beinan lebein atzman, but let's say they shechted, it was private, no one else was there. So very interesting. It's not a valid shechita. Reb Meir mater lishchet acharem. Reb Meir says that you can shecht after them. It means their shechita is so not valid. Because what we learned before in the beginning of the Masechta is that you can't eat it. But that could be because of a doubt. We don't know if it's good. You know. Chutz mecher sheita v'katan. Shema yikalkalu shchitasa. It says Shema yikalkalu. Maybe they'll mess it up. So we don't know. Comes along Reb Meir and says, no, we do know it's no good. Not only is it no good, but you're even allowed to shech the mother or the child right after them because it's definitely no good. The Chachamim say no, you're not allowed to shech. And that would make sense with the way the Mishnah was presented at the beginning of the Masechta. Shema Yakalkalu, maybe they messed up. So you're not allowed to eat it, but it doesn't mean that it's definitely not good that you're allowed to shech the mother or child. Umaydim, the Chachamim do agree, She'im Shachat, that if you did shecht after them, even though they say you're not allowed to, but if you did shecht, She'in Seif Gesar Bain, that you don't get malchus. The explanation is you can't get malchus even though you weren't supposed to shecht afterwards, because could be it was good, but it's Hasra Safek. We don't know, was the first animal shechted properly, was it not shechted properly?
And if you do give Hasra, the Hasra is not a count because it's Safek.
Yeah, right, Hasra Safek.
This is also Vespino when they're talking about doing the shechita on the other one, because if you just read the Pshuto, you could say, oh, the guy started with shechita, he missed, so comes in the guy who knows and he does a correct shechita.
The mother or child.
The same but it sounds like you go back into the same animal and shecht, but it doesn't say animal. That.
Right. So where do you see that? When it says Asa Lishchet Achareyam, it would mean the mother child.
We're interpreting that, and I agree. But in plain Hebrew, you're not allowed to go back after them.
Very interesting.
Or he allowed to go back means, hey, I can go rectify the mistake.
Very interesting. You have a good point. You have a good point.
We take it
I read it into it that it was obvious. When I was reading, I read it in that.
It is obvious based on an assumption.
Right.
But the plain Pashut Lashon doesn't really say that.
Right.
It just says afterwards.
Right. Okay. We did something very interesting in our Mishnah. We said that there's a machlokes regarding Isav Espinai if a child shecht. Or a cheresh in a shayt. The machlokes is that Rabbi Meir says that it's such not a good shechita that you're allowed to shecht afterwards. The Chachamim say no. You have to be cautious, and you're not allowed to shecht after them. We didn't mention a machlekes by Kisei Adam. Do you have to cover the blood? We didn't say anything. We didn't say that the Chachamim say, just in case, cover the blood. We didn't say that. We just had one opinion there that says, if there's no one else there, pater melchasis, you don't have to cover the blood. It sounds like Reb Meir's opinion. The Gemara asks, "V'Rabbanan ma'ishna reisha d'lei pligi, u'ma'ishna seifa de pligi." That's the wrong one. The Rabbanan, why don't they argue in the reisha, but they only argue in the seifa? Seifa means the end. How come they only argue about Oisav Espanai? They don't argue about Kisei Adam, about covering. They say that you don't have to cover, just no one even mentions anything. The Gemara says, Reisha, in the beginning, in the first case by Kisei Adam, Yamrinan Chayav and Lechasais, if they would say, you should be strict, and you should cover it with blood. You should cover the blood with the dirt. Amri, then people would say, Shchita Malaisi. It's a good Shchita. I saw him covering the blood. Let's go eat from the animal. So there's some sort of gezerah here, that if we're going to do Kisei Adam, we may say that the Shchita is valid. The Gemara asks, but Seifa Nami. The Rabbanan said that you're not allowed to shech the mother or child. People are going to say, why am I not allowed to shech the mother and child? It must be the first animal is good, let's go eat it. And you're going to go eat from the Shchita. The Gemara explains Seifa, when it comes to Eisves Benai, that you're not going to shecht another animal, Seifa at the end. Amri, they're going to say, Bisra deloi kami ba'ilei. It's meat that he doesn't need. Now, what's going to prove to us that the first Shechita was good? He's not shechting the mother or the child. So that's going to say, look, he didn't go and shecht the rest of his herd. It must be the animal, the first animal was good. I'm going to say, no, that's not a proof. He didn't shecht the rest of his herd because he didn't need any more meat. He had enough for his barb. It doesn't show me anything, the fact that he didn't shecht another animal. So therefore, they say, don't shecht.
And also, I say that's can be done by two different people.
It could be two, right. That could be also.
So we want,
but we're not concerned here, even if it's the same person that owns it. We're not going to say that, oh, he didn't shecht the mother or child. That's a proof that the first animal is kosher, and now you can go eat it. So we don't have to make such a gzeira. However, when it comes to Kisei Adam, if we see him covering the blood with dirt, we're going to say, oh, it must be a valid shechita. The Gemara says, one second.
One of the reasons it's given for mother and child together is because it's cruel to shech the mother and the child in the same day.
Right.
So what does it matter whether it's shechita or killing? It's still cruel. If it's killed without a shechita, isn't that still cruel?
Very good. So it turns out that although we do have logic for explanations for mitzvahs, but in the details we don't. We don't have the logic for all the details. You find this by a lot of things. Its fill-in is to remember Yitzias Mitzrayim, but the details of it are all not explained.
But the cruelty there is where you shechted the child before the mother. That's cruel to the mother. If you shechted a mother, and this is a ben pekua. This isn't ben pekua.
The cruelty would be both ways.
But
we don't say that the whole reason is just because of cruelty.
Because it's Tzivui of Hashem.
Right.
That's the only thing we do.
Right.
Because Hashem command us to do it.
Right. There's a very interesting Ramban, if you want to look into this. The Ramban about sending away the mother bird. The Ramban over there argues with the Rambam. And they quote Gemaras back and forth, proving each other's position. If there's really mitzvah, if there's really reasons for mitzvahs, and that's an example of not to be cruel, not to take the eggs right from under the mother, should send it away first. And but the Gemara says that anyone that davens and says that whoever had compassion, he says the one that has compassion on the young birds should also have compassion on me. They say that we silence him because you're making the mitzvahs look like they have reasons. So
Ramban
problem.
there holds a reason, but Rambam says no reason.
That we
I'm
can't,
sure.
yeah. And it actually has to do with different texts of the Gemara. So it's
It's just like Korbanos.
Right.
Rambam says, don't try and figure out. We can't figure out the reasons. Just do
the
the Korbanos.
Rambam is much more severe over there. He
Well,
says,
that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying if he thinks that way, I would think he thinks the same
Right.
way.
Not to push the point, but doesn't the Torah sometimes use the word shechting when it just means killing?
I don't
like it
think
says
so.
this amora, shechted this amora. Or,
Yeah, but that's a Gemara. That's a Gemara. That's not the Torah
Oh.
expression.
Right.
Okay. So the Gemara says here what we're holding is that he's not killing another animal, and that's not going to prove to me that the first shechita was valid, and the reason why he's not killing why he's not shechting the next animal is because of Eisav Espenai. Just saying he didn't need meat, so we have no reason to make a gzeira that someone may eat from the first shechita, even though it was a child. The Gemara asks, Reishanami Amri Lenaka Chatzeru Tzarech. The beginning of the first case, which is the Reisha, first case, which is talking about Kisei Adam, I'm going to say, why is he covering the blood? Because it doesn't look good on his ground to have the blood. He's covering it because he needs to clean the garden. How would you clean the garden? You throw some more dirt on top of it to make it to cover it up. That's what they would do. They don't have a vacuum cleaner that's going to take away the blood. You put some more dirt or spread the dirt over it. So, but that doesn't tell me that the shechita was valid. He needed to clean it. The Gemara says, 1 second. Shachat bash b'mayikal ameima. You're not going to be able to say that if you shecht over a garbage can.
Because there's no dirt.
What's he gonna do? He needs to clean the garbage.
Cover the garbage.
Cover the garbage. Yeah, you're not going to put dirt. There
More
must be
more garbage.
if you cover it over, then that would be a proof that the shechita is valid. That's a real concern. Let's say he did a shechita, and he goes to ask in the Bais Din, in the Bais Medrash. So he goes to the rabbi. He says, "Do I need to cover it?" They say yes. That's going to be a proof that everyone that the shechita is good, and people may go ahead and then eat it because they hear the rabbi saying yes, you need to cover it. People may eat from the meat. The Gemara says, 1 second. If that's the reason why we didn't we didn't say that you should cover it by Kisei Adam, and you're saying that, but by Yosef Espenai there's none of these concerns, and therefore you don't shech the mother. 1 second. According to that logic, Seifanami, by Yosef Espenai it's the same thing, because Bali Malach Ma'ikal Ameimai. If you go to the rabbi, you go to the Bais Medrash, and you ask, can I go shech the mother now? And they announce no, then that's going to also tell everyone that the first shechita was valid. So you have the same issue. If the rabbis hold that you shouldn't be shechting the mother or child after a child shechted one of them, so they should have said the same thing by Kisei Adam, because there's really no concerns that are different between them. The Gemara says, Ela Rabbanan Akulam Milsa Pligi. Rather, the rabbis argue on the entire Mishnah. They waited for Reb Meir to finish everything he had to say, and then they decided to argue. So they didn't say their position in the Reisha. They said their position only in the Seifa by Yosef Espenai, but they meant to say the same thing in the Reisha as well. Okay. Basically, when we look at the Mishnah now, and we say at the end, Reb Meir matel l'shchit achareim, v'chachamim eisrim, that chachamim eisrim, the chachamim forbid it, mean that they forbid to shecht another animal, and it also means that they're obligated to cover the child's shechita with dirt. The Gemara says, "Bishleim Rabbanan l'chumra." We understand the Rabbanan's opinion; they're being machmer. Why? Because it's a suffix. It's a doubt. Did the child shecht properly? And they say, don't consider it that maybe it was good, just in case, and you can't shecht the other one, and you have to cover it. Reb Meir, my time. What's the reason for Reb Meir? Amar Rabbi Yaakov, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yaakov says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Mechayev haya Reb Meir al shchita mishum nevela. Reb Meir holds that this is an absolute nevela. You even get malchus if someone eats from it. It's not a doubt. Reb Meir says that it's definite no good if a child shechts. And that's the reason. As the rabbi said, 1 second, a child did a shechita, we don't know if it's good. So we have to be concerned just in case. Let's keep all the laws as if it is good. We'll keep all the laws as if it's not good. We'll keep all the laws as if it is good. Rabbi Meir says, no, it's clearly not good, and we're going to keep all the laws that it's not good. That means you're allowed to shech the mother afterwards, you don't have to cover the blood. And if someone eats from this, they get malchus because it's nevela.
The Mishnah says, the last line of the Mishnah.
Right, it's true.
The last line of the Mishnah said, the Moed Chacham,
The Chachamim are moed that you don't get malchus.
Mishnah says you do.
No, you don't get malchus for shechting the mother or child.
Not my Mashin Kisedam is different.
No, not Rabbi Meir doesn't say you get malchus for any. Rabbi Meir says you get malchus for eating it.
Not for eating it.
And the Chachamim say that how can you have malchus for eating it? We don't know if it's good, if it's not. Now, Rabbi Meir says that if you shecht the mother or the child, it's permissible to shecht the other one. And the Chachamim say that you should not shecht the other one. But if you did, you don't get malchus. Okay, but here we're talking Rabbi Meir. Now we're saying Rabbi Meir says you get malchus for eating it. That's Rabbi Meir's shita, that it's 100% treif or nevela when a child shecht. There's nothing good, not even a percent that it's kosher. My time, what's the reason why Rabbi Meir says this? How do you know? Maybe the child shechted properly. So Amar Rabbi says, Hayil v'reiv ma'aseh mikol kolim. Well, the majority of what children do is going to be, what's the word? Damaged?
Bungled.
Bungled.
What is bungled?
It means
Messed up.
Okay, messed up.
It's one of those galgal. It's a repeat. Kukul.
Oh.
It's like an ongoing.
Oh, interesting. So the emphasis here is the Rav. Since the majority of what the children do is no good, so the Rav is like Rubik Akulai, that we take it 100%. If that's the majority, so we say that it's 100% treif, and you even get malchus for that. That's how it works. Rav is very strong.
What if you knew that, let's say it was a Rebbe's son who was, like way advanced, all right, and everything, he could give a Dvar Torah at age 3 that blow out the minds of the Chacham. He could do Shrita blindfolded. There was no question, but he was a kid. And they saw that Shrita. Why would you also that Shrita? How can you apply Rav when you have a witness?
Oh,
definitive?
So 1 second. If Acherim Rayim Aisam, if others are watching them, then it's kosher.
Okay.
That's
Right.
kosher.
I forgot that part.
But it's
How
still a good
soon
question.
I
Still a good
forget.
question.
Still a
How
good
soon
question.
I forget.
No, it's still a good question. Could be that there was a child that we've seen him, and
He's an expert.
and he's
He
done
knows better
several,
than- Mumcha.
and most of
Yeah,
them
he's
are
better
not.
he's better than the older guys.
Right. It's still a good question. Amalei Rav Papa Rav Huna Breder Rav Yeshua. Rav Papa says to Rav Huna Breder Rav Yeshua. Let's just take a look over here so we see what we're doing. Rav Huna Breder Rav Yeshua and Rav Papa are at the end. Okay, the statement that we just had from Rav Ami. Do we say Rabbi Ami? That would be up here. Rabbi Ami is much earlier. Rabbi Ami. And Rav Huna and Rav Papa, Rav Huna Breder, Rav Yeshua and Rav Papa are down here. These are students of Rava and Abaya. So
the initial statement was from Israel before they went to Bavel? Because you went back like a couple...
yeah, what's happening is we're discussing the opinion of Rabbi Meir. Okay? The way the charts work is they really go like this. Okay, they overlap. This is the generations. Okay, we're discussing the opinion of Rabbi Meir. We had an explanation because the majority of what they do is not good. Now we're going to have a question on this. Whoops. Now we're going to have a question on this from Rav Huna, Breder, Rav Yeshua, and Rav Papa. Now the Gemara is not sure which one it was. The Gemara says Va'amrila, and there are some say that Rav Huna, Breder, Rav Yeshua, or Rav Papa, that it wasn't a statement from Rav Papa to Rav Huna, Breder, Rav Yeshua, it's a statement from Rav Huna, Breder, Rav Yeshua to Rav Papa. And they ask a question like this. My area is like, why specifically? Usually the word my means what. We just make it make sense. My area what is it saying specifically? Why is it specific? Roiv. Why do you have to say that it's roiv? Afilu miyut nami. Even if some of children mess up, their actions are bungled. The Reb Meir chayish l'miyuta, because Reb Meir holds that we have to suspect to a minority. That's Reb Meir's opinion in all of Shas. He's concerned about the minority opinion, minority situation.
Behaving.
Where do we have this? By the child. We say that a child can't do yibum, that until we know that he's going to be able to have children. Because there's a majority, yibum is only permitted if he's able to have children.
Yes.
But if he's a eunuch or something, which we don't know till he grows up, and even though that's a minority, Reb Meir says we have to wait. Chayesh l'miyuta. Okay, so first of all, Reb Meir holds that a minority is significant. Now, samach miyuta l'chazaka. Take the minority of the children that their actions are bungled, and now attach it to the chazaka. The chazaka here is that it wasn't shechted yet, and it wasn't kosher. V'yisrael ruba, and now you don't have the majority that it is good, and now we'll be left with an avela. So why do you have to say because the majority of the children's actions, even if it's a minority of the children's actions, together with the chazaka that this animal wasn't kosher, and you anyways can't eat it, or we need a little more than that, and we'll anyways consider it nevela. And how do you know that you do that? That you attach a minority to a chazaka, to an assumed status, and then that changes the majority. That changes the. It says like this: the Tanana was taught in the Mishnah. If there's a child that's found next to a piece of dough, next to dough, and there's dough in his hand. Now, Reb Meir mitar. Reb Meir says that the dough is tar. The Chachamim say that the dough is tamei. They say because the way of a child is to touch things.
Handle.
And what happened is that he probably went into the garbage and he touched over there a sheret, and now he touches the dough, so he makes the dough tummy. So the Chachamim say it's tummy. The Reb Meir says it's tar. But in my time with the Reb Meir, what's the reason for Reb Meir for saying, oh, the dough is pure, even though the child came and touched it, and children touch all types of things in the garbage? So he says, Kosava roiv tinas metapchim, miyatein metapchim. Reb Meir holds that yes, majority do crawl around into the garbage, but there's a minority that doesn't. But this dough was originally tar. So I have a chazaka on the dough, I have a roiv against the chazaka, but I have a minority that it should be good. So samach miyuta l'chazaka. Reb Meir says, I take the minority, which Reb Meir holds is significant. You attach that to the chazaka, v'yisrael ruba. Now you don't have a roiv anymore. So I see that Reb Meir can attach a minority to a chazaka, and that affects the roiv. Now what happens over here, Taisus points out, is that it becomes half and half. When it becomes half and half, so when it becomes half and half, how does it become tar? Half and half is 50-50. It's so we say that very good, that it's not the coffee. It's
No, I didn't
the
have
yeshiva.
The coffee yet. I didn't have the coffee yet.
It's the Staten Island yeshiva. The Gemara tells us that when you have a doubt about purity, it depends where it's located. We learn it from a saita. If a saita is together with the man that she's not allowed to be with in a public area, so she's tar. But if she's in a private area, then she's tummy. So we learn from that a doubt about tumah, we call this tumah, a doubt about tumah in a private area is tummy, a doubt about tumah in a public area is tahar. Now over here we're saying that it's tar. We have a doubt and it's tar. Now the problem is, but let's say it's in a private area, that should be tummy. So he says that what's by the saita? This is what the Gemara says in other places, and Taisus applies it here. The saita is someone that I can ask. Yesh b'das lishal. So when there's das lishol, when there's someone that I can ask and get a response, so that's going to be tamei in a private area. But the child, Tosfos says, is not someone that I can ask, and therefore, even in a private area, it's going to be tahar. So therefore, a doubt over here is going to be tahar. Okay, so back to our question. Why does Rabbi Ami say, since the majority of children, their actions are bungled, and so therefore it's not valid, and it's nevela, even if it's a minority, but the minority, together with the chazaka, that this animal wasn't shechted properly, should be considered half and half at least, and it should be considered nevela. The Gemara responds to that, says, 1 second. Imam Musafik Tumah Latar. By a Safik Tumah, we can say that it's tar. But Yom Safik Isser Lahater, you're going to say that a Safik Isser is going to be permissible? See, by Tumah, we have these rules.
50-50.
50-50, I know what to do in a Safik. But
You go lenient.
right, but when it comes to Tumah, when it comes to prohibition, for example, to shech the mother after, to shech the child after I shechted the mother, I'm going to say, oh well, it's 50-50, why not go ahead and do it? That's not how it works. If it's 50-50, you're not allowed to do it. It's the opposite.
So I could just check the shchita.
There's certain things that you can't check afterwards that you can't look at to see shehiyah. You can't see if there was shehiyah. You could see certain things, but not everything. No, by Yom El Gamba, it's good.
Yeah.
Talking about right. This is a very interesting statement from the Gemara, because they had a question. When it comes to nida, sometimes there's a doubt, and you have to be machmer. So some of the poskim, they bring down, not la halacha, but they bring down, like in theoretically, that we should discuss safek tumah. Is it tamei or not?
But that's isser, it's not tumah.
So they answer that that's isser, not tumah, but it's based on
two. One more to go.
One more.
But they say that the
Switching
isser,
chairs.
that the isser is based on tumah.
Yeah,
it's based on a tumah. That's tumah snidik. There's certain things that are based on.
Tumah is always different than anyway. Shchita.
Right.
We say that.
Right.
More matter.
This is the higher level.
Oh my God! Oh, gosh, the water's flowing down.
The non-observant elements of the Jewish community always claim against the Orthodox that why do we keep the laws of Nida, which is like not so right for the women, when the rest of Leviticus we don't keep. You see, you picked one thing out of Leviticus, and the rest of it you don't keep. All the laws of Tumah.
It's not in Leviticus.
Well, no, it is. It happens to be. But there's Tumah and Tara. That what the aspect is that there's Tumah and Tara, and then there's Isser. That's what our Gemara is saying. True, Tumah and Tara we're not keeping. The shrotzim and these things, and going into the temple, it just doesn't apply. But these laws are Isser. It's a different story. Okay, now, so here we're discussing a child shechts, what happens with the mother and the child after that, and also covering the blood of the child. So we said it's machlekes Reb Meir and the Chachamim. Hayru Rabbi ke Reb Meir, v'hayru Rabbi ke Chachamim. Rabbi, which is Rabbi Yehuda Anasi, once he paskin like Reb Meir, that says that what the child did is mamish nevela, it's nothing, you don't have to worry about anything over there. One time he paskin like the Chachamim. And which means that you do have to be concerned. You have to cover the blood. You can't shech the mother and or child afterwards. But which one did he say later? We have by Rebbe. We have sometimes the Gemara says, "Katnusa," he said this. Bialdusa, he said this. Beziknusa, he said this. The Gemara in Azav says. So let's assume that what he says later is going to be the halacha because he already examined it and he has more information. Tashema. So coming in here. The Rabbi Abba, Brei the Rab Chia bar Abba, v'Rab Zera, havikamya b'shukah de kisri. Okay. So, I have over here, Rab Zera should be here, right? Here's Rab Zera, and here's Rab Chia bar Abba, and I have a Rab Abba as well down here. I have a Rabbi Abba who may be Reb Chia bar Abba's son. In other words, he was named after his grandfather.
Tana Meir?
Someone told me, how do you know that Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were Ashkenazim? Because if they'd be Sephardim, it would be Avram, Yitzchak, Avram. Right? So here, it's Reb Chia bar Abba.
No, it'd be Avram.
Junior Abu.
So
the first, the second, the third.
Here, Reb Chia bar Abba is a student of Rabbi Yochanan, and his son, let's say it's his son, Reb Abba, is together with Reb Zera.
And Tana Meir?
These are Amirayim in Eretz Yisrael. Well, Reb Zera was from Bavel, and he came to Eretz Yisrael. Now, Havikami b'shukah de Kisri. They are in the marketplace in Kisri. Kasaria, near Bavo. Pischa de Beit Midrasha, and they're at the entrance to the Beis Medrash. You can just imagine, like, the artist making a picture of this. It's the Beis Medrash. They're outside the kollel, with coffee and
cigarette.
Nafak Rabami.
-3.
And Rabami walks out. Ashkechinu, and he finds him there. Amalu, Rabami tells them, Lavamina lechu, have I not told you that to be Eden Beit Midrasha, that at the time of the Beis Medrash, Leisakim Avra, you shouldn't be standing outside. Dilme Ikke Inish Demitzracha Leishmaitza. Maybe someone is going to need your help. Is going to need help with a halacha, with a statement. Vasi le'trude, and it's going to be bothersome to them. You should stay inside. Maybe you'll be able to assist if there's a shaila. Reb Zera al and Reb Abi lo al. Reb Zera went inside, but Reb Abba didn't go inside. Yasvi sits over there. Bekami boiler when they were asking, Haiminayo achrita. Which statement of Rebbe was later? When he paskin like Reb Meir, or when he paskin like the Chachamim regarding our case when a child shechts? What's to do with the blood, and what about shechting afterwards? Amlu Reb Zera responds, Leishav kisanli da shaile lesaba. I didn't know this question when I was outside. How do they translate Leishav kisanli? I didn't.
Yeah.
You did not let me know. You didn't give it over to me while I was outside that I should ask the elder. Who's the elder? The elder is Rabbi. Dil mashmiele me'avua. Maybe he heard from his father, who's Reb Chia bar Abba. Va'avua minei Rabbi Yochanan, and his father would have heard from Rabbi Yochanan. And I could have had an answer to this. Why? Why is this so significant? Reb Chia bar Abba because Reb Chia bar Abba every 30 days reviewed all of his information in front of Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan would correct him to make sure. So he was very accurate, and maybe I could have asked Reb Abba, who would have heard from Reb Chia bar Abba. Gemara says, "My havi Allah." What's the end? It says, "Tashma, come and listen." The Shalach Rabbi Lazar legoila. Rabbi Lazar sent to the exiles, "Hayra Rebbe Reb Meir," that Rebbe paskin like Reb Meir. Now the Gemara says, "Vakar Rabbanan nami yairi," but he also paskin like the Rabbanan. Elalav shmamina hadachrita shmamina. Why did Rabbi Lazar send that he